Let's go. We live? Make sure everybody can hear us clearly in the chat. Can everybody hear us clearly in the
Can
chat?
you hear us clearly in the chat?
Is anybody? Can you guys hear that? You guys should be able to hear.
Can you guys
Oh, we good?
hear that you guys got you?
We
You guys should
good.
be able to hear.
Yeah,
We all
we're good.
good.
Welcome
We good?
to
Yep.
couples therapy remnant style. I'm going to go around and let everybody introduce themselves before we open up. Well, that will be our open up. Start from this side.
I'm Eddie B.
I'm Victoria.
Cassandra.
Greatness. What'd you say, Alex? D good baby.
Hi, my name's Yanet.
I'm Naya, Queen Naya.
Andre.
The Lady Dove.
Hi, I'm Samantha.
I'm Key. Blessings, everyone. My name is Nas.
I'm Julia. Hi, my name is Kiana.
Rafi.
All right, all right. I want to start it off with a topic that that the Holy Ghost gave me before I came, and I thought it was extremely profound. The topic is love is not given, love is taught. Oh, that's good.
All right, all right. It is good.
Ooh, love is not given, love is taught. Okay, I just want you to understand from that perspective, because there's a world in that, right? Let me start it off. Love is not given, right? If you begin a relationship with that idea in mind, that love is not given, love is taught. If you start a relationship like that, what disposition does a person have starting with that concept in their mind? What do you think that disposition is? Right? Why is that important? Is because there's so many different ideas about what love is. There's so many all over the world. There are different ideas and perspectives about what love is. In modern times, especially in this country, and in our communities especially, love itself is not looked at as something that is strong. You could recall one of the rappers, Snoop Dogg, says, "We don't love no girls, we don't love no," but he used a derogatory term, as if to love is weakening or it makes you look less than, right? And people have an idea of love is, sometimes children's idea of love is if you give them something, right? And if you grow up with that idea of love, you could be a woman or a man that associates love by what somebody physically gives you, right? So all these ideas of love, there's other ideas of love where it involves security, right? Some women might feel that a partner love is predicated on the security that they provide for you, right? Some of those instances, it could be a man that is wealthy that provides security, but he's abusive. So would that be love? So let's kind of unpack this idea of love from the perspective that I said love is not given, love is teaching, love is taught, right? Why? Where do I get that from? Because I elevated to a different perspective because the ultimate love is supposed to be God Himself. The scripture says God is love, right? And if you look throughout, and this is not religious, this is culture. So when I'm talking to you about it, I'm trying to spark your mind to broaden things out a little bit, right? If there is an idea of what love is, God would be the one to observe to find out what love is. And if God is love, there is nothing that can compare to God Himself. Why does He name Himself love? That's interesting that God would name Himself love. The scripture says, for God is love, right? And God naming Himself love is not conducive to what we think or see love is in the world. Because there's a scripture that talks about love is kind, love is this, love is long suffering. There's a lot of things. Who wants to pull that up?
What did you want me to pull up?
What love
What
is? Mm-hmm. It's in, what is it, 2 Corinthians? 1 Corinthians 13? 1 Corinthians 13. You got the AMP?
I got 1 John where God.
No,
the
1
love is from
Corinthians
God.
13.
Oh,
Huh? No, it starts, huh?
okay.
4. You got it? Here. You got the AMP? Okay, read it for us.
Mhm.
1 Corinthians 13, AMP. Love endures with patience and serenity. Love is kind and thoughtful and is not jealous or envious. Love does not brag and is not proud or arrogant. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not provoked, nor overly sensitive and easily angered. It does not take into account a wrong endured. It does not rejoice at injustice, but rejoices with the truth when right and truth prevail. Love bears all things, regardless of what comes, believes all things, looking for the best in each one, hopes all things, remains steadfast during difficult times, endures all things without weakening. Love never fails. It never fades, nor ends. But as for prophecies,
Stop right there. Because it goes into something else after that. Okay, so does that exist in your relationship? Does the definition from God about what love is, does it exist in your relationship? Somebody might ask, Andre, does it exist in yours? Well, I'll let my wives answer it. You answer it.
Yes.
No, don't just say yes. Explain that.
Yes. Because as you were reading, it clearly tells you who the Most High is and how He's able to operate the way He is. When we say, if you're not a leader, you have to learn to love beyond your pain, right? To be a leader. And then to read this and to understand the Most High's definition of love and that this is who He is,
Okay,
right?
but does it exist in your relationship?
Yes.
Well, that's what you need to explain.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does, because all these things, love endures with patience and serenity. Love is kind and thoughtful, not jealous or envious.
Well, can you give us some examples of that? Of how that exists in your relationship where it's applicable, where people can understand it?
Mm-hmm. I can go back to when we first met and and I already knew this because when we first met, we talked about his exes and everybody else he's been with, and it was applicable in every single area of his life. These are things that he applied even before me, which he had the patience to be able to understand what it was going to take to get a person from one point to another by what? By teaching them, right? And even in our relationship, yes, there was an attraction there, but I still had to be taught, right?
Taught what?
Taught to love myself,
Taught
right?
love.
Taught love.
Mhm.
And everything else that we've just read comes with love,
Mhm.
right? And to be able to do that, because it's like a sacrifice. It's like I'm sacrificing all of this for you to get to the place of love, right? So that's beautiful because, like I said, I never, when I read this, we don't look that the Most High is literally telling us everything that He encompasses, that He's trying to teach us to have. And when you read through this, you would really think that it would be unbelievable for a person to obtain all these things, right? Especially at one time. But I have experienced that.
Mhm. So let me read some of these things here. It says,
Oh, can I say something else?
yes.
So when it says also in relationships, and I think this is where I might explain something a little later, because I feel like since I went through it and then it came up, I think it's really important, right? And I think I'm going to talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about my age. I'm not afraid to talk about what we go through as women, because I think it's really, really important, because we have to understand that Satan operates in our emotions, in our feelings, right? And we know that hormones play a big part in emotions and things like that, right? So when I look at love never fails, it never fades nor ends, right? I know that I've experienced that, but I can only experience that with someone who is understanding, who has been taught themselves. And I'm appreciative of that, because I told him today, I said, you know, when a lot of people, like back in the day, this is something very important. So listen to what I'm saying, because this might help you in your relationship. Not might, if you listen, it will help you. But you have to have a man who has this relief doctrine, that understands, and not only that, will give the place to understand what you're going through, so that he can have an understanding of that, and be, you know, when you go through something, he can be understanding. So I take hormone replacement therapy because, yes, I am past my 50s, and it's very important for women, because before that, maybe about less than 10 years ago, we didn't have those medications for women. And there was a lot of divorces, and there still are to this day, because a lot of people are not privy to this information. They don't know it's help out there. They just feel like that it's something that you have to go through. And I'm just feeling like the Holy Ghost want me to go this route, because also we can go to women's menstrual cycles, right? And going through those hormones, because we got premenstrual emotions and we got menstrual emotions. And I said it's the 2-for-1. You're gonna get a twofer. And then when you go into menopause, it's the big bang, because it's you either gonna lose everything, or you're gonna have somebody who understands and you can gain everything. But I was taught with this relief doctrine from the gate not to allow those emotions to take over the spirit in me, right? Yes, it was a battle, because those feelings are real, okay? They're real, just like the Most High said when Eve done went and ate that fruit, that we were going to go through birth pains. We were going to experience things through our cycles and everything that we never would have if she wouldn't have done that, right? So this thing is real. It's something that men need to understand, and they need to take an account for it. But women also need to understand that you do not have to let those things rule over your spirit man, right? Now, I have seen with and witnessed and experienced with my own eyes, right, that I can do a lot with my spirit. And without that, as my nephew experienced this weekend, like I know the Holy Ghost can do anything, right? I just told my husband today, I said, you know what? I'm so thankful that the Holy Ghost allowed technology and medicine and people to understand our bodies so that we don't have to be subjected to the symptoms of certain things that we have to go through. And men, don't get it twisted, because you guys also have a period where you lose hormones also. So after you get past a certain age, your testosterone and everything goes down, and it creates havoc in your body. It's like a male menopause. Look it up. You don't think I'm telling the truth? The different things that you go through in your life, feelings, emotions, all these different things change. Your body, you ain't as strong. You gaining weight. It's male menopause. Look it up. You lose testosterone. It might be at 700. It's going to go down to 200. Go look it up, and you can get help with that. But I say all that to say that I experienced this with my husband. I'm so thankful that he's always been an understanding man who listens, who wants to know everything about his woman, right? Because if he wasn't that type of a person, I would never get the grace and the love that he's given me for him to know, wait a minute, I know this thing right here. I've seen it before. I know this may be going on, that may be going on, right? So not just say you got a funky attitude, right? But I know that's not who you are. So I know when you're like that, I know what's going on. It's very important. And I was telling him today, I thank the Holy Ghost for that, because I was not liking myself a few days ago. And I know when I get there, something is not right. And I knew what it was, but I was telling him, if you look up the statistics on how many people get divorces when women go into menopause, it's crazy. Because literally, if you think a cycle time of the month is crazy, go through with a woman in menopause, and you're gonna be wanting to go to a whole different state, right? And I'm not playing, but he knows that, and he knows that about me, and I know it about myself. But it goes to show that love, like, I know when you're not you. He knows when Naya ain't her. He knew when people before him. He knows his women. He took the time to know them, which is important. The Most High knows us. He knew us before we were formed in the womb, right? That love right there. Like, I know you inside out. Before you was even here, I knew you, right? And I love the fact that he takes the time to know me from the very beginning, know me and teach me how to know and love myself. So when I read this, I'm just grateful, because the love never fails. With him, it's like, you gotta fail, right? You have to choose not to be here, because I'm gonna continue to be who I am. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm thankful for that I have a man that's saying, okay, well, you're gonna have to just choose not to be here. Whether the promise is with him or whatever, all that, we know that. But at the end of the day, if you choose not to be here, you're going to be the one to choose, right? And he going to be the one to keep washing, to keep operating in who he is, until I either choose not to be here or I keep flourishing. So I love that.
Oh, praise. The question was, have you experienced in our relationship what was read here about what love is?
Yes. And I say yes because those very things that was listed, to have a man that is first that way to his God, so when he's everything that for the Most High to be love, and for a man to be after his God and be that way to his God, he will only be that way to his woman. And there's no switching from that, because if he's operating differently with you, then it's like him shifting on his God. So just to have someone, to stand firm and just being loved, because it's just who he is, and I'm grateful for that. And to have a man that, Andre often says that no woman comes ready made. And to have a man that understands that, right? To where, however a woman is operating, it doesn't shift the man that he is, right? So, although I came with the information, he understood that I wasn't going to come ready made. And the patience that he has with me, just learning me, and when I go through things or emotions and feelings, that understanding and him giving grace, because that's just, again, that's just the man that he is, and I'm blessed to have that for someone to understand and have patience, because that is one thing that I always lacked in my relationships. I haven't always received patience, so, and when I can shift and things, sometimes I can get ugly, but to have someone that um that is willing to, regardless, constantly build you, because he understands it takes work, it's a process, again, giving that love because it's who he is. So he doesn't he doesn't know to be any other way, right?
So
And
teaching that.
yeah, so teaching that love,
Okay.
exactly, teaching that love, so I'm grateful for that. So
That's
yes.
powerful, baby. So I didn't want that to go down so that my ego is stroked or anything like that. No, because you recognize when you read about love, right, that it was self-sacrificing, and it was a dying to oneself in order for someone else to live, right, and to make it. So, which is why um, it's not practiced as often. First, you don't know the idea of what love is, and then us explaining to you what love is doesn't sound, doesn't sound desirable to you, right? Because you think love is just receiving, right? I said love is not giving, love is teaching, right? So this is what makes the roles unchallenged. Let me get to it, then I'm going to pass it around. I put up a post today and I said most modern relationships today are built on jockeying for position, right? But when we explain what love is, and that love is not given and love is teaching, and the explanation of love, it don't make you want to jockey for my position. It don't make you want to stand up and do it first. So do you understand that when a man stands in the position to teach love, what is really going on there? There is no jockeying for his position. There's only a jockeying for position when you determine love to be only what you give and only what you receive, not what you teach. Because what you teach, listen, when you have to say, I'm teaching this, you're understanding that somebody is not understanding what you understand. And so there's going to be points of references that you personally are hurt, that you personally are not getting from that person what you're teaching them. And so that's why there's no jockeying for the position once you're standing in the position to teach love. Right? Who wants to be in the position of God? It's so funny that Satan says, I will ascend to the throne and be like the Most High God. All he's seeing is the trimming outwards of God being in total control. That's what he's seeing, right? When somebody sees me, they see my wives in pocket, is what I call it, lined up, beautiful. They see my life. They see how it flows beautiful, right? It looks desirable. That's what Satan saw with God. He saw all the exterior trimmings, but not the ingredients that made it. The love that made it, the self-sacrificing that made it, the dying to self so someone else could live that made it. Satan didn't see that, and neither do you. You see the finished products of the ingredients that I invested through self-sacrificing. Because that's what love is. Right? And so there's never a competition or jockeying for position like it is in modern relationships. I'm talking tonight. I'm talking tonight. There's never a jockeying. Haven't you always wondered? Why is there so much jockeying for position in modern relationships? Because you're not teaching love. Okay, yeah, that's good stuff. I'm gonna pass it around. Let me go this way. You want to go say? You got something else to say? Okay, go ahead.
Well, I will let you speak. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you, let them know what's being operated around here.
And it don't have to be the same topic. You can talk about whatever. This is Remnant therapy,
Okay.
couples therapy.
Go ahead.
No, I'll keep to that topic. I like what Dre was just saying about how, what's being worked on like behind the scenes under that obedience and submission to the Most High. When Kevonte operates in that, I see the God within him. And as we know, it's the Most High, the man, and then the woman. So when that headship is there, it's easy for me to submit to him. And then he does teach me that love that comes with it, that patience. And he just has that understanding for me. And where times I may fall short, he's there deep in there with me, fighting the indoctrination that I've been in for the last 30 years. Yeah, that I've been in it. So having that leadership there, that structure, like it just really, that partnership that we have with the Most High, where that's what we're focused on. We're not focused on like what's going on outside of what we have going on. The focus being the Most High first, and then our relationship. We're just gonna keep building from there. So
All praises.
All
All praises.
Yeah, so I do want to speak on a few things because like when we doing these meetings, we are continuously moving forward and things are moving very fast. And I really want to speak on, because back in March, you know what I'm saying, March 26th to be exact, I made the decision to come to Seattle. And, we have a spot together down in Miami. And I told her, hey, it's time to go out here and do this work, the Most High. And I'm like, you coming? And she like, nah, I'm trying, I'm trying to, she wasn't really messing with it. So I'm like, well, I'm finna go. And, just, I was very intentional on the things that I was saying prior to that transition, because I know that if I'm saying something and I'm putting it out there, I gotta stand on it, right? I can't just be running your mouth up in this information. Can't be saying you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and then you don't show up. So I already know, what was that, March, right before March 5th, probably a couple months before, I had brought it to her attention, that it's time to come out here and do this work. Because I'll be trying to show her the information and stuff like that, and then she was around, that was around when she kind of started paying attention to it. But, then I got to talking about, well, it's time for us to go out here and do this work. So, and I'm finna go. And just in those conversations, like, what you gonna do? You don't got no job, you don't got no car, you don't got no spot to live. Like, what you gonna do out there? And I was telling her, I'm like, hey, when I get out there, I'm finna get all that. I'm finna get a spot. I'm finna get a job. I'm finna get a car. I'm finna get all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm operating in this information. And one thing that I do know is I'm gonna make sure that I keep up that communication with you. You know what I'm saying? While I'm out there, and because That is something that is so imperative to me within my relationship. You know what I'm saying? That communication. And I like to say something that's been on me. Distance has no bearings. Show yourself to be a man.
Mm.
And so as I'm
Boy.
operating, you know what I'm saying? As I'm operating, I'm just being very intentional about what's going on because, we've been together, it was over, now it's been over 7 years, but at that time, yeah, about 6 years, right? So the relationship has been built up in the indoctrination.
Mm.
But now I got this information and now we about to do this right. We about to do this how we supposed to do within my culture. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. So, get back to the culture. Okay, now it's being operated in. Cause when you might be with your lady and y'all been together for some time and you might be bringing stuff to her, right? You might be showing her stuff like, hey, look at this. You see this? Man, they talking heavy on this, whatever it is, some online you done seen or something like that. And she like, well, it's something else he looking at. It's something else he just watching right now. He ain't gonna be saying nothing about it in about 2 weeks. Whatever, boy, do what you do. I'm like, okay, this is it right here.
Right.
This right here, this is it. So, just that's when it really got serious. That transition was about to transpire. And I got my family coming at me, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the house with my lady, like, with my fiance. Let me go on and say that right now. Y'all proposed to her, you know what I'm saying? And she said yes. So, my fiance right here. Let me say that. Yeah, let me quit all that lady stuff. But just in that time, man, it was a very crucial time. You got to watch, have to be mindful of what I'm saying and how I'm operating. And it's still the same. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. It don't stop. This is an endurance race. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep it pushing. You got to keep operating every day in your life. You know what I'm saying? Because your woman is watching you
That's right.
very closely and paying attention to everything you say. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you say something and you don't stand on that, so boy, you better stay on top of yourself.
Yes,
so
sir.
let me let me get to it, man. In that so in that transition, right? Coming out here to Seattle, that was March 26th. Yeah, that was the day. And I put out there, I said April 16th, I'm coming. So I was talking to Eddie. He was like, hey, you need to put a date out there. Don't keep saying you're gonna come and this and that. Put a date out there.
That buffer.
So yeah, by that day, you know what I'm saying, you need to be going. So I'm like, it lined up perfectly. And I ended up finding a one-way flight. And it was for March 26th. And I told her, and I was like, yeah, I done found one for March 26th. And she like, you lied to me. You told me this. I'm like, no, I said by April 16th,
Right.
I was gonna go. So it just happened a little faster, a little sooner. So, and as I'm making that transition, I told her like, hey, I'm about to, I'm about to go out here and I'm gonna make sure I stay on top of my communication with you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we gonna stay strong. I got this information and it's time for you to get it too. This relationship, it got to go to this level and in eternity. You know what I'm saying? Under obedience and submission, or it's gonna falter. You know what I'm saying? We got to step it up. We got to. So, with me being on top of my communication, I'm also being intentional about what I'm doing, and of course I'm operating in the information. And, I like to say, like, I know that I had no choice but to operate in the information when I made that transition. So when we having our conversations, I'm talking to her and I'm like, this what happened today. This what's going on, like blow by blow. You know what I'm saying? Because we having them conversations. This is when I was staying with my loved one. So, I'll work and then we'll have our conversations at night. It's real deep, man. What was going on? This ain't no, you really, I'm trying to, at the same time, I'm being out here in Seattle, right? So it's like, I'm gonna be transparent. It's like some little things I was kind of battling with a little bit, but I have to lead beyond my pain
Mhm.
because she ain't come with me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, but I still got to operate. I still got to do what I'm supposed to do. And I still got to lead in this relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because I want it to work. I really do. You know, I love her. So I want it to work, right? So just those conversations every day, and she's listening, and you know what I'm saying? I'm cultivating her, I'm teaching her the information as I'm getting things together out here. Because remember, I'm being intentional about how I'm operating. So I'm trying to get the spot for us. You know what I'm saying? I'm building for us. I'm trying to, I'm building. So it's like, yeah, I'm getting to that spot. I'm getting to the point to where I got a spot. Now it's on you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't having no room to like, well, you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm creating the space.
Yes.
Yes, I'm creating the space for her to come. You know what I'm saying? I'm creating the space for her to make the transition. You know what I'm saying? Through that communication. So it's just, I had to continue to leave beyond that pain. And, I was, I felt the way about it, but I'm like, hey, I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do before the Most High because I know who I'm accountable to. That's what kept me away from, I may had a few moments or something where I may have said a couple of things, but all in all, I know the Most High is watching me and watching how I'm operating before my fiance. You know what I'm saying? He's watching me. So, I was just very mindful of everything that I was doing, and I was very very intentional about how I was operating. So it could be, that transition can happen the way that it did. Cause I'm like, listen, man, if Drake can lead a relationship while he is incarcerated with this information and I can't do it, I'm just on the other side, I'm free. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna handle this business. You know what I'm saying? And I'm finna make it work. I'm gonna do everything in my power to make it work. You know what I'm saying? And not compromise it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta throw that in there because it ain't like I'm just, bending over backwards, doing all this extra stuff. No, you got to know who it takes time because she's getting the information. So she's getting to know who I am as the original man. You know what I'm saying? That the person who I was, that ain't the same cat you was dealing with. When I got into this information, that's a whole new cat right there. That ain't who you been with this whole time. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole new, okay, this is something else. So she's seeing it being operated in, and it's to elevate her. She was in Miami by herself at that time. So, she had to elevate the information herself. She had to believe.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to take away from the emotions that she was feeling. Exactly. I don't want to take away from what she was feeling and what she was going through because, she would be dealing with things and we'll have our conversations. You know what I'm saying? And I would continue to stand in between that gap between her and the enemy. You know what I'm saying? Through those conversations and continue to build and wash her within the word. You know what I'm saying? So this is very imperative what's going on when you anybody could be in a long distance relationship for the time being, but that belief and I know it's gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? This information, it works for everything. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing that the information doesn't work for. So I know as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, if she has to sit here and say that she's done, it's not no abandonment, because making that transition, I'm abandoning everything unto the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So she just seeing it live, right? And like I said, I'm creating that space for her to come. Now it's on her. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you to believe and operate in which she did. So, now she's here, you know what I'm saying? And we about to get married. So, all praises.
Let me see. Get right back to you. I just wanted to say that demonstration. Listen, you men out there, right? That have only received your identity from this country. They have told you who you are, and most of what they told you was that you were less than them. They didn't teach you what leadership was. because you're disconnected from your culture and they gave you religion that promoted them, their religion, their God, right? But one thing you see resonated within these men in this remnant is once they tap back into who they really are, they're willing to lead because they understand what leadership is. Now, you just heard Key talk about what he did first. What was that? He reconnected to his God first, right? And then you heard him mention about the original man, right? When you reconnect back to your God, you understand you the original man, not just by what you say, but how you lead, right? And then when you lead up underneath the understanding of why you are the original man, right? The receipts come with it, because in our culture, you got to have receipts. We ain't just talking. Sam, seen it lived in front of her. Seen a man dedicated to his God, didn't leave for a woman, but leave on his assignment for his God. And she witnessed it for herself and lined up underneath it because of how he walked it in front of her. Amen. Now, my brother Eddie over here that I'm going to give this mic to next, Eddie is the example of what I'm telling you about Key. Because not only did Eddie bring all his kids up underneath his leadership, but his ex too, all here within this remnant. Do you understand? His grown kids, right? So I just want you to understand, it is a difference. I want you to understand the power that you have when you get back to your God. The power of leadership, right? Because you are struggling for somebody to believe in you right now. You argue with your woman because she don't believe you. She could love you and don't believe you. She could give you her body and don't believe you. She don't believe you because I guarantee you, if you took a step like Key and like Eddie did, you was gonna be there by yourself. You ain't learned to lead anything in your life. You haven't done anything exceptional enough for her to believe that she could follow your leadership. You haven't done anything. And that's why I want you to hear from these men and women about what it looks like, right? What love looks like, because that is a part of love. What leadership looks like once you get reattached to who you really are, right? And I'm gonna give the mic to Eddie because, listen, like I said, I'm always impressed with these powerful men that pop out. Always impressed. People say anything, I was like, can't say nothing to me about Eddie. He got the receipts. That's just what it is. He got the receipts. He ain't got to do no talking. He got the receipts. They speak for themselves. Give this to Eddie.
Okay, I wasn't ready to go this soon, but let's go. I was sitting here thinking about that Atlantic Star song, When Love Calls.
Mm.
And I started thinking about, you know, when the Most High is working and he has a direction for you to go in, it's kind of say my position, it's hard to sway away from that.
Mm.
So it's crazy because I think when we had split up, Naya was like 3 months. Naya was like 3 months when we had split up. And I stayed on my assignment, and she went her way. And I remember like the first conversation I had with her when we had split up. I said, well, you got to go through your experiences, whatever that is, and I can't go through that with you. But I got to keep going. I got to keep doing what I'm doing. So the way I guess you came back, it wasn't my doing. It was, my son Manaz went down there out the blue, and we look up. She was out here, and the situation was hard. I ain't gonna say it was hard, but she just got on my nerve a lot because every day she wanted to bring me somebody else's sandwich,
Oh,
and I had to, no, that's not my sandwich,
Mm.
But I was watching slowly how the Most High was just working with her and adapting her, aligning herself back up. And even though I wasn't paying no attention, and then it wasn't till today when it was brought to my attention that when everybody thought we was courting, and D was like, well, Eddie, when you and Victoria getting married? I said, well, after you. And I'm just joking. I'm not even paying no attention. And I just threw that out there. And then Dre tonight said, well, man, you said. And I said, oh man, my word is my word. So I guess we're gonna have to, talk about some things, But yeah. So it's like my message is like, even though it might look ugly, it may not be what you want it to be or expect it to be. Sometimes, you just got to respect the process and just go through it. Because I think I told her, I guess when we first split up, like, we'll be back together, but whatever, because I know she got to go through her thing. But man, I forgot about it. I'm like, but now, then the Most High put different things out there, and I was like, this crazy. She comes back like right before, our grandson gets ready to get here. And like Cavassier said, man, the Most High, boy, he got some jokes for you. Because, you be looking this way, and he coming from a whole different angle, like, yeah, you're not gonna see this, but watch this. and catch you off guard. But if you stay in his information, nothing's gonna catch you off guard. You just got to stay down, and sometimes even though you might not understand it while you're going through it, you will understand. It will be brought back to be like, okay, now I fully understand why this happened and why I had to go through this, And also, it was like, I know when I was young, I ain't gonna say I was possessive, but I wasn't possessive. But, I had to have things my way, and me allowing her to go through her process, it taught me hands off. So I had to go through it, while at the same time my 4 children going through it. So you gotta, you gotta stay down, man. You can't be no punk in this information, man. You gotta, you just gotta be it, That's what all I'm gonna say for right now. I'm gonna have more, but yeah, because tonight is all new. I wasn't expecting this, So here, I'll let you respond.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I want you to go ahead.
No, go ahead. Say what you said.
No, I just wanted to say that to see y'all here together is so beautiful for me, because like what Daddy was saying, how when I was 3 months, y'all split up, and I didn't have the same experience like if Tori, Elijah, Manaz would see y'all together, and me wanting that for myself, and not being able to experience that, and
thing.
you know, I would want to, and I would wait on that moment, you know. Thank you. Yeah, I would wait on that moment of seeing y'all being together, and it's beautiful that the Most High did it in a way of you two being back to the culture and not in the indoctrinated way, you know, and seeing y'all two get it right, you know. Thank you. I'll have extras. You know, seeing you two just doing it the right way, you know, and just like expecting Tamim to be here and to have his grandparents in the information, you know, so he can see that. And it's like it's beautiful for him to where he's just blocked in, he will be blocked in it, you know. There's no one will be on the outside of um to where it would be double-minded for him, you know, but most importantly for his grandparents to see them, for him to also see y'all together, you know. And yes, that's just beautiful, you know. So, you know, I just wanted to say that, and you know, for y'all to be an example of what it looks like. It's like, you know, there's just nothing the information can't fix. Just like what Key was saying earlier, you know, to have that example of, you know, y'all being together in the world, having your experience for 20 years, you know, of you just going through your life experience, you know, but to be back together and to have your children grown and everything, and just, you know, to just live, to just be back to the culture, you know, and just reconnecting to that, you know. So it's just beautiful for me to see that, although it took years for me to see it, but it's beautiful at the timing that it is, you know,
Yes,
now,
indeed.
you know.
Praise
So
the
that's
Lord. Just real quick. I just wanted to say real quick that just listening to Eddie, coming from you guys' relationship, being together, having what, how many kids together? 4 kids together, and then separating. It just goes to show you the love of the Most High and this relief doctrine, how far it reaches and what it can mend and bring back together. And that's what I saw, because it's like looking at everybody from Key, and you guys were long distance relationship. You guys been together forever. From where I came in, from where Naya came in, knowing everybody's lifestyles before this, but especially you guys, because when you were talking, it's like it's something that you could have never foreseen, probably both of you guys, right? And the Holy Ghost is so amazing that you would not even be thinking about something. And mind you guys, Victoria was already in the information before she came out here. It wasn't like she just came out here and then tried to get it right. She was already in this information herself, by herself. So, you know, that was powerful within itself, because it wasn't like I'm getting in this information because I want this man back or I want my family back. She got in this information to save herself. And that was beautiful, because it would be different if she came out here and she wanted it because of somebody else, because it's going to fail. If you doing this for somebody else, most likely it's going to fail, right? So doing it for self and then coming out with no expectation, just coming out to be, and you got a chance to be with your family. And then we go look at how God loves us. And now you guys, like Naya said, you guys were loving each other in the indoctrination, but now having a whole new knowledge of what real love is, and then being able to grow that together. Because we just said love is what? Being able to teach, and then with you two together can teach each other from a different standpoint, and he can teach you from a different standpoint. So I see something else blooming, something else beautiful, right? Because you're not going to be looking at each other like, oh, I'm just so in love with you. We were not in love, right? When we met, it might have been love. I mean, I love you, but in love is something different, because in love requires something, right? A consistency of something, right? Which makes you fall in love with somebody, right? In operating in love. And so I just see like just that operating in what we just explained love is something that we were were not privy to. We didn't know that. But now, as we could see that this type of love can produce whatever we want it to, right? It can manifest greatness, things that you've never even thought of. Exactly. And just looking at you guys and the fear of the unknown. But when you look at what love is, love casts out all fears. And so I just see something beautiful, regardless of the trepidation, because it's like a new relationship all over again, right? And I think that's beautiful.
Praises.
Yeah, I would say too, when you break down what love is, right? And considering, like you said, Dub, I didn't come out here for Eddie, you know. I know I always refer to the Miami trip, but in Miami, I made a joke and I said, you could have told me 22 years of us not being together, I would be in a car ride with him going to a conference. Like, we couldn't be on the phone for longer than an hour without arguing. 50, yeah. Actually, we graduated to an hour. I was like, wow, we made it for an hour on the phone without yelling and I didn't hang up and got a headache. We've come a long way. Like, it wasn't just like we were separated for 22 years. Like, it was bad. Like, he couldn't stand me. I couldn't stand him. Didn't see each other for years. 5 years go by, I wouldn't talk to him, and that was our norm. And like he said, we wasn't thinking about it. It wasn't we never had that conversation of getting back together. It was just never a thing. But when I think about love, he was patient with me then, and he's patient with me now. When I spoke on it in my testimony not long ago, when I said that, I pretty much chose to walk away from the relationship because I wanted to, like, quote unquote, live my life. He always stayed on his path, and I'm the one that honestly can say I compromised and went the other way. But even in that, he was still rooting for me. Now, like when he said, I've had conversations with Dre at our, about how just every time I say something, he's gonna, and it's like that was him loving me. The corrections, the buffing. I get it too. No one's safe. So it's the buffing, and like he said, the making another man sandwich. When that comment is, when you coming from the relationships I was in after him, I was with men that their idea of leading as a man was do what I say. When we were together, I was submitted and obedient to Eddie in the sense that when he said we're moving to Arizona, I wouldn't question the move, we go. We're moving to this house, I wouldn't question the move, we going. Then it got to a point right before he broke up, I started questioning everything. Why are we doing this? And what are we doing? And I know he's seen a change, and that was me. At the time, I didn't realize it, but that was me going against, his leadership. Now we're back in the space if he says, and this is just subconsciously because I'm in the information and I know that he leads with God. So if he says something now, I don't question it. I know that it's right. It's right for our family. It's right for him. He's already talked to the Most High about it. He's being, under his leadership, I know everything's okay. I don't have to question that. And like I said, the other men I was with, after him, their idea of being a man is pretty much, to shut up and do what I said. With Eddie, it's not like shut up and do what I say. It's listen and follow my lead. And I know in that I'll be okay and I'm safe and I don't have to say anything. But just like I said, I'll probably add more to it. I didn't expect to talk so soon, but like you said, the timing of it. And like I said, the first couples night, we wasn't thinking about being up here like that. Well, it just wasn't a thing. And just how the Holy Ghost is moving and how time just moves. And to me, coming in, we're here together in this space. And like Dove said, I'm not here for my family. I'm not here for Eddie. I came for the information. But just in that.
The information brought you to your family.
Yeah, the information brought me to my family. But just in that, it's like Naya gets to see her parents together. Something she's never seen. So yeah, I can go on and on, but yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. It is. Oh, shout out Tori and Elijah. Love you.
Love you.
Feel better.
Go back to my mod.
That was beautiful.
It was.
Before I get into it, I just want to also
That's
add
the other
that
son.
yes, I'm the other son, and this is a special moment for me because this is a prayer answer. You know, when I was a kid, when I didn't have my father around, I would cry all night. You know, talking to the Most High, like, man, why can't I have my dad here and see what my parents look like together? Because I always heard great things about them, but this one, when I was younger, didn't really, wasn't able to see them together like that. So to see them now is beautiful. And my mom mentioned how when she came to the Miami conference, the question was asked, if we wanted to see them back together. And my other siblings, they was like excited. They was like, yeah, me. I was like, well, they grown, it's that's if they want to do it. I wasn't really too excited about it, but come to find out, I'm the one who, bring her out here. And I see how important it was to see them together because now it's, it's beautiful, So I just wanted to say that. And not to my beautiful woman right here, right? Now, what we have right here is special because, right, we met in the information. But one thing I used to always tell her in the beginning was, don't just judge me because of the remnant title. Don't just stop there. Like, I want you to continuously analyze me. Be on watch. Look at me and observe. Make sure that my life reflect my words and I am living out this information, right? So before I get too much talk about myself, I want her to tell everybody what she see, in transparency.
All praise.
What you see, baby.
All praise.
So I'm still choking up from Eddie and Victoria over here. So like with you, like I'm sorry, I got nervous. I'm over here blushing. Yeah, so with that being said, like observing him and stuff, the Most High gave him space to show up, right? So there was a lot of things that was going on, like with myself, or like car problems, just little stuff like that, right? And just him prioritizing like me and yeah, just showing up for me, like that right there like showed me like the type of man he was. And then sorry, I'm just I'm trying to think, but so just seeing how he was showing up for me and seeing how he is too, like with my son. He's very patient. My son is a lot sometimes. He's not a lot, but seeing that patience he has with him. And I came to him with a child, with almost a 2-year, well, he's 2 now. I came with him with a 2-year-old and pregnant by another man. And he like wasn't even looking at that. Like that was something for him. Like he's automatically like, I'm gonna govern over that. So yeah. So to me, like seeing that, it made me like my love grows for him every single day. Just seeing how he is in that aspect with my child, and then seeing how patient he is with me. Because there's times where I do get like emotional or something, or I fall, but he's quick to be like, okay, we're gonna work on this, like, So him being patient with me in that aspect just makes me love him even more every day. He is teaching me a lot that I didn't know, whether it being like with my health, or he got me in that gym, like, you know what I mean? Like he's teaching me to love myself from the outside, because I love myself from the inside. Now, from the outside in, there you go. Yeah, he's teaching me to love myself from the outside in. So that right there is just, yeah, my love grows for you a lot. Like it just, yeah. I don't know what else to say. You got me. Look, listen, we're still kind of new at this, okay? So just in the small amount of time that we have been together, he took his time in knowing me and I took my time in knowing him. And like I've said before, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it 1,000 times, I never have to question anything that this man says to me because I know like he is the truth. So I never have to question anything that you tell me. I never have to, if you correct me on something, I know that's out of love. And
Wow.
yeah, so that just yeah.
Let me just say real quick, nephew, for you out there, there's something in our culture that I want you to understand exists. And you see that a lot of our women and things they get kind of choked up, right? Very prolific, all of them, in speaking. But there's a thing in our culture that's called joy unspeakable and full of glory. There is a joy that transpires here within this remnant that is so big, it's hard to even speak about it. All you can see is the expression of what the experience is. In our culture, there is a joy that's so unspeakable. And you're witnessing that right now. We're doing the best we can to give it to you. Amen.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing, right? Before the information, I wasn't always, patient with my women, right? It was always like, if I needed something done a certain way, like, I needed it done expeditiously. Like, I wasn't really, didn't give too much grace, right? And wasn't always too kind, short-tempered and stuff like that. But as I began to learn and understand what love actually is, what the most I say love is, and me lining up with that, way before Julia came into my life, I began to, sorry, I'm just thinking about it right now, but I was able to line up with that.
Mhm.
And now this version of me that she's able to see is the refined man, the man who was in that furnace of refinement and came out without blemish. And we're gonna continue to, she gonna continue to observe me and see, what the Most High's love looks like, because I'm gonna continue to produce that. So I just wanted to add that.
Deanna?
I guess you didn't read the topic.
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll stay on the same topic then. From hearing everyone's testimonies on how they see love in the Remnant way in their relationship, I was thinking about how we met, and it was in the world. And our meeting, it did not start off with any type of romantic love, anything. So that wasn't there for, you would say 2 years, right? I would say like for about 2 years, we was like just messing around. And then at some point throughout those 2 years, we were learning more and more about each other, not accidentally, more like it was just happening. It was just happening. We were just going closer the more that we hung around each other. And one day, 2 years later, he tells me that he doesn't want to just think of me in a sexual way anymore. It's more than that. So we started, after that, we called it building with each other in the world, though. And yeah, we liked each other. Still weren't like no love or anything like that. No thoughts about that yet. But we were learning about each other, still building, having conversations now about what it would look like if we were ever to be together, or, we weren't like, it was like always like limbo, like up and down. So with that, it was just a lot of circles going around. And then he got into information first. And from there, we talked on the phone almost every day though. And he would bring up some of the information to me, and I was just like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? I didn't get it, obviously. I wasn't in it yet. But probably like 3 months later, that's when he introduced me or exposed me to the information. And then that's when I started watching. And at first I didn't get it. It took me a while to actually stick to me. I was hearing everything, but I wasn't like applying it. Was not a thing for me in the beginning because it was just very difficult for me. So I just didn't. That didn't happen. So we was having a mismatch there. And even from there, we weren't together or anything. Still wasn't anything about any love. But we were in information together in a way. Like we're still doing it for ourselves, but we're not like in a relationship, but complicated a little bit. So moving along, months down, information for me, at least I can't tell you how many months off my head, but how do I explain this? Then he asks me out, and then we become boyfriend, girlfriend. Again, still like in a world way though, like I don't know how to explain it. It's a very complicated, like a lot of ups and downs. Nothing was for sure. We were together for like a month and then we broke up. We broke up, and from there, I know how I've been feeling. At this point, before being together and everything, I was having thoughts of like loving him, but I kind of scared myself away from not allowing myself to feel that with him because I didn't want to be hurt or anything like that. So I just didn't allow myself to do that. He can talk on his piece if he wants to with that, but that's for me. So we were together. I already knew how I was feeling. I liked him a lot. Probably loved him. I was still confused too because it's not like I've ever been truly in love with somebody, or I didn't allow myself to fully be like that with somebody. So that was also a thing. But broke up. Then he asked me, this was him driving down to Seattle at this point. And he asked me, do I trust the Most High? And I said, yes, I do. And he's like, then let's see him move. If we're actually meant for each other and everything, then we'll come back together. If not, then that's just the way that is. And so that's what happened. So instead of being devastated that we weren't together or anything, I put all my trust into the Most High. I mean, that's all I have was the Most High right there as well. I believe either that same night or the next day, I believe the same night, I told myself, why am I holding back on how I feel about this person? If we're not even together, what is there to lose? Something in my spirit was saying to just let him know everything. Why not? So I told him I loved him. And that was like at night, and then I went to sleep and then woke up and he told me that, I texted him by the way, he told me, I love you too, which with this, I didn't have any expectations. I didn't expect him to say anything back or anything. I just wanted to get off my chest, off my spirit, how I felt about you. And it reciprocated, and it was very surprising because it's like, in my spirit, I felt like there's no way that this is like over. You know, I felt like there was something more for us. And so I just, again, kept trusting the Most High. With that, I was just, again, I'm like, trust the Most High. Let's go to Seattle. Because I want to do more for the Most High. I want to get some more information. That's what I want to do right now. So brought the plane ticket. There we go. And he already was on his way over it. But again, I'm not doing it for him. This was all for me because I want to get closer to my God, not for him. I didn't even know we were going to be back together. That was just something I just had to deal with. If I saw him in Remnant or something, whatever. I'm not going to let that hold me back. I had to get close to my God. But after some time, we started talking and on the phone, and got closer, definitely closer once again. And from there, it was like a different version of him I've ever met. Even getting into information and seeing him transform the way he's been transforming, there was like something that broke down for him. And it was really beautiful to see. So him as a Remnant man and seeing how this like wall was broken down once we expressed that we loved each other and everything. I would, if you would have told me this would have been happening like 2 years ago or a year ago, that I wouldn't believe it at all because of the person he was like. He was like kind of like cold, stern, you know, just like to the point. But the person that he is now and in our relationship, he gives me the grace that I need because I do make mistakes sometimes, of course, and I do have to get correction because obviously I am still learning. Although I've been in this information, I am still learning every single day something new. So he gives me all the grace that I need. He gives me the support I need. And I will say, though, from what I see, he is still learning. We're both still learning how to love each other because of just how our dynamic was, very up and down. And we got right into just being together and everything. And now we're living together. So we are learning how to love each other every day. And I believe it was like a week ago or something, we were having a conversation and he was sitting down with me and he was like, how do I word it? If it takes us like 2 years or 3 years to like get over this bump that we are going through or anything, then I'm here. I'm not giving up. That's only if I want to be out, I'll be out. He's still gonna continue to be the man he is and everything, but he's still gonna be here. And just knowing that too, just knowing that he's still going to be here. That's the thing I'm not used to. Like someone being here, because a lot in the world, when I experience hurt from somebody, it would just be like someone hurt me and then like just go out my life. But with him, he's here to like actually talk with me, work things out, and just communicate and use this information for us to just conquer anything. And like I said, we're still learning how to love each other, for sure. But it's been so beautiful just to watch with this information because a lot of things that I once believed that wasn't going to happen, especially between me and him, everything has, the Most High has blessed us. That's what I will say. Definitely. I wouldn't even think I would be sitting here married to him.
Mm.
So
All praise.
I'm gonna stop talking before I cry.
Let me just say that Rafi, I had a dream about Rafi, and in the dream, the Lord was showing me in the dream that he is the kind of man, I told him the dream, that if he sees something live before him, he automatically knows he could do it. Rafi operates in that competitive therapy. If anybody in here is operating at a certain level, there's no way Rafi feels that I'm not about to do that and do it better. That's just the disposition that he has, and that's good. So if anybody here is operating, even me, myself, and he's seeing that it's possible to do, right, he automatically knows he can do it. That's the kind of man he is. If I can do it with two, there ain't nowhere in the world, and one in his mind, that he feel he can't do it with his wife. It's impossible, right? He don't even think that way. He thinks that if I can see it done, I can do it. All praises. So let me just say, so him saying that to you, I would expect that from Rafi. For him saying, well, you know, if it takes 2 years, whatever, because he has heard experiences, just like Keith said. He said if Drake could do it behind them walls, and that's the spirit within this remnant. That's that competitive therapy. Right. It's competitive therapy. You know, something that's a part of the culture and God uses. If we see it can be done, we gonna do it. The bar is so high in this remnant, right? Just think about somebody coming to the remnant saying that, okay, they came here and they left their family. We have people that have left their families, and their families were saying, don't do this, and people might give up and whatever. But the bar is so high because we got people here that's established high bars. Eddie's established a high bar. Because Eddie's going to say, you ain't got to feel like you cannot bring your family, but you got to lead. You got to be something in you that you could lead. We got men here from Rafi, everybody that says that you want your woman, but your woman going to have to know how serious you are about your God first, right? We don't understand the significance in that. The remnant does, but the world doesn't, right? Because they want to appease somebody to get them to do what they want them to do, right? Men in the world, well, if I buy her something, if I love her, sex her good, or this, that, and the other, and we see that men have tried to do everything in the world, but women in the world, modern women, they say women are more unfaithful now than they've ever been. Modern women. You could be doing everything and they still want to go do what they want to do, right? Shirley ain't going to follow you. Shirley ain't going to submit up underneath you, right? But in this remnant, we got the key. The key is being reattached to our God, and then God does the rest. That's how it works. It's not us. Our God, we know. In our culture, we know, we say it all the time. If a man's ways please the Most High, he'll even make his enemies be at peace with him. How much more your loved one? How much more your loved one? Right? So each and every one of us is committed to our God first. And our hands is off, just like Eddie says, and he will do the rest. We believe that. Right? That's how that works, you men out there. You don't have the information, but you have the receipts of men here talking, and you're seeing the results of being attached to their culture and their God within this remnant information. Go ahead, Rafi.
All praises.
All praises.
We're gonna talk about this, and then I want to shift it into a whole different direction. I do want to point out that me and Kiana coming into the information hasn't been like a year or anything like that. Like me coming over here, I came here in October, towards November. So it's only been like 4 to 5 months, and then she came in December. So everything has been happening like so fast to the point where from not even dating to now being married.
Wow.
Like it's just
That's powerful.
it's going so fast, right? Even though it does feel like a long time, but it's going so fast. Yes. Mm, what she's talking about when it came to the indoctrination is I definitely had a disposition of self. And even to this day, I can see how it's, coming out, and I'm conquering that thing because when I was learning about women, learn about what game and about game is always about self, right? You don't love anybody else but yourself. Everything is about you. So when I was meeting women, I was like that same type of thing. I was never like very like gracious or anything like that. It was always like my way or the highway type of thing. So she's known me from that, and she knows that. No, she knew that if she didn't do something that I told her to do, like wear this or wear that, or show up at this time or at that time, I probably wouldn't be there anymore, right? And it also comes because it also comes into fruition because I was in the military, right? So in the military, they always taught me like, and I always led people like this where I managed lives too. So I need you to do A, B, and C, and if you're not doing B, why you're not doing B? And what's happening? And I came from this disposition of always being aggressive, right? Coming and getting things done, right? So now when I'm speaking to women, that's the same disposition that's coming to, right? So even though there's a level of attraction that they may feel about it, it's not how the Most High, is intended it to be, right? It all speaking about love, right? And 2 weeks ago, I learned about that, right? Where we had the same class, if you was here, where I was speaking to my woman, like, hey man, like that same disposition of being aggressive and leading that way, right? With no grace. And that's something that is very difficult for me and has always been difficult for me because like if I can do something, like you can do it too. And why you're not doing it, right? But even before then, before coming into the information, just the love, like the idea, the theme of love, like I never understood it. And the relationships that I had, they loved me, but I didn't love them. And every time I would tell them that I love you, it wasn't real because I didn't even understand it. So and I only had like 2 relationships, right? But after that second relationship, I was like, I don't want to be with someone that I don't love. I don't want to feel like there's something missing and I'm not giving my all to that person. So as I continue to go through my life, like that love part is still like hidden. And there was a class that we spoke about that I attended talking about love, and I asked Uncle Andre about like this love, like do I have to, if I marry a woman, do I have to be in love with her? It was like no, like your primary is the Most High, and that's what it is, right? If I recall correctly, and you can correct me if I'm um but as I begin to realize as I'm walking with my God, that just the definition of love and what it says in the scriptures, it talks about kindness, being kind, and that's something that I just recently began to also operate in it, right? Because even my words are not kind to her. They weren't kind because I was speaking in a manly way to another man when she's a woman and she needs this love, she needs this kindness, she needs this grace, right? And I was never living with no woman before, right? Even everywhere I lived with another man. If we was roommates or even in my family, like it was always me and the man just dealing with each other. So she's coming into my world and I'm like, you know, working like with a man, and that's not okay, right? So I found that out and I made certain changes, and it's still a process, like my baby was saying, right? Still a process because there's a lot of salting that's also that I realized that I didn't even have, right? And this is where I'm going to shift directions, where we're going to talk about the sex part, all right? You want to start it off with that first?
I would like you to start off, actually.
Okay. So, um, because of the, just me just constantly moving, also, that kindness and that love for her just kind of like wasn't present with her. So she talked to me about sex. Like, why, do you not love me? Do you not care for me? And I'm like, what? Like, I opened the door for you. I like, you know, I come out here and I'm looking at you and every day it's like I see something different about you that I love. She's like, oh, but what about this sex stuff? And you're not giving me enough sex. I'm like, I literally work 6 days a week. Like, and and not that that's the excuse. It's just that, we have class where we're constantly moving. We go to the gym together, have class, have dinner, and then at that point, 9 o'clock hit. I'm just like, peace, right? So, so I've been, it's not like I don't feel like I want to have intimacy with her or anything like that. It's just I just be moving sometimes, and I've been letting that like just slide, I guess, right? Um, and we have intimacy, like, but not to a level of like where we used to have in the indoctrination. And when she talked to me about it, I was like, baby, I want to let you know that our love stands more than just that, right? And I want to tell you why, because at that moment I realized, with the information and everything, I realized that even in myself, like, the reason why I was having, and because she knows me too, so she knows that I was with a lot of women, like, on a weekly basis, right? And I was having a lot of sex, so there's no excuse as to why I'm not having sex with her. That's what she is communicating with me, right? So I tell her that, you know what? It all stems from the buck and the bench, right? And for you guys that don't know, like, as a man, a buck is like someone who just wants to have sex, right? Is in a sexual, just run, right? And that's how I felt in the indoctrination. That even times where I didn't want to have sex, I knew that at least I had to have a woman around me, you know, and it was always about sex, like 3 to 4 women and this and that, and I didn't do it because I wanted to do it. I felt like I needed to, right? Because even in my relationships, once I was in a relationship, like, a lot of times it was a woman always asking, why are we not having sex, or when are we gonna have sex, or what's going on? Do you not like me anymore? And before she came over here, I let her know that, hey, like, I know that we was like this in the world, but I'm not really that kind of guy. I'm not really active like that, right? Because I know how he was with her, right? She lived right next to me at a certain point in my life where she was down the block, and I could just, get off work, call me, we meet at midnight, we meet whatever time, and it was just consistent. And to the point where we ended up including other people, right, into our sex life, right? So I'm explaining to her, and this happened like a week ago, it's recent. Like, I want to let you know that I didn't even know this about me until you expressed to me that this is a concern of you. And it's not that I don't love you. I definitely feel you. A lot of times, I'm a very visual person where I can see you and I'm just like in the mood, right? But I know that we have certain things to do and I just bypass that, right? But it all stems from me always, or me creating that in you, where now you see me as like, wait, these two people are not the same people, and why you're not having sex with me? Because you was in the world, you was like this, right? So that's one part of it, and the other part of it is like my health, right? So, um, there was this like insecurity of me when I was with a woman, because I knew that, because of my loss of testosterone in the military and this kind of other stuff, right? I wasn't able to operate. But because I was learning in the world that everything was about experience in a woman, like, a lot of women didn't really experience that side of me when it came to, the sexual part, because what I was doing was I was creating experiences for them. And the experience is like, she'll walk into my, into my apartment. The lights were already showing. I had music. We moved from the kitchen to the living room talking about it, or touching each other, to the bathroom, to the room. And even the room part was a very short time because, I wasn't operating, right? But she didn't know that, right? Because, I created this whole experience that I blinded that side of me. And now I wasn't being truthful with like what I really, had in me, right? And, I it's a question that I did want to ask in the remnant here, like, how do we handle that sex part, right? I know that this is an area of my life that is coming to fruition on both of our ends, right? And that's what I wanted to share of what is it now, and go into what does that sex look like, and am I being going into the sex part because of the indoctrination, or because I have a wife now, or just in general that conversation.
Okay, let me ask you the question.
Yeah.
So just to have some clarity,
Mhm.
don't you have to feel any way, Kiana, because now we're going to get into it. So I have 2 wives, right? Dove and I have been together almost 30 years. I have it. Almost 30 years. And, we've had a full, complete sex life, right? I have a new wife, right? Now, you could understand the potential of the possibilities of jealousies, of he might not want me, or it could be a whole bunch of things that transpire, right? So my new wife coming in, I have to deal with the thought of her feeling exceptional in her own right and compared to this exceptional woman, right? And I have to balance that out. I have to balance that out. How do I balance that out? Dove has been with me 28 years, right? So now I'm weighing heavier on her understanding, right? Because now she is just not my wife. This is what I want you guys to understand. Sometimes it's your wife, sometimes it's your partner. Sometimes it's your wife, sometimes it's your partner. In building, you're going to need a partner. I'm talking really heavy to you guys. This remnant was built by my partner and me. Woo! It was built by my partner and me, right? So now, here Naya comes. I need my partner, right? I need my partner now, because now, in order for Naya to feel comfortable in her space, I need my partner, and Dove has alluded to this in many of her testimonies, where she creates the space and the time. Only a partner can do that. A wife isn't going to be able to do it. Oh, I'm talking. Oh, that's so strong. I'm talking strong right now. She said she created space and time so that this is successful for the assignment that we all have to do. That was a partner. That wasn't a wife, right? So now, sexually, we're new. And Dove says, I remember one time when we were in Hawaii, she said, you need to go and spend some time with Naya. Girl, you ain't got to tell me what to do. I know what to do with Naya, right? That was my partner. You feel what you see what I'm saying? You need to just go spend some time with Naya, right? So balancing that out. Now, what happens when your wife try to get into a partner's disposition? That's a problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. When your wife tries to step into the place that your partner's role is. You have to be able to compartmentalize within this remnant foundational relationship where we are allowed, very normal, more than one wife. You have to compartmentalize. And your wife has to understand she's both wife and partner, right? And when to walk in each one of those positions. That's her responsibility, right? That's her responsibility because she can make it be successful or she can tear it down with her own hands. You see what I'm saying? So I said this one time, I spend maybe 75% of my time with Naya. You hear me? 75% of my time with Naya, right? Naya has been with me this month 6 months, right? I've often said that, and I'm getting to it, but I need to build it. I often said that it takes 6 months to a year, right, for a woman to really begin to really know who you are, know how to operate within your plan and in your space, right? So 6 months. Did she have that time with me? Could she have gotten to the place that she is today without me giving her the time that was necessary to focus on her? My partner has to understand that. Without feeling I don't want her. Right? Without feeling that I don't desire her. But knowing she's got to have the same thing I had or it ain't gonna work. See how important that is? Right? So now your partner has to compartmentalize that. She has to trust the process too, but she got to compartmentalize that too. There's a lot weighing of her responsibility as my partner in this work for us to accomplish the objective so that all three of us could be one. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Right? So when I was on dialysis, I performed okay. But most people on dialysis cannot have sex. Most men. Did you know that? It stops working. And I used to pray, just don't take my libido away from me. I'll work with him. And I had to work with him because he wasn't as like he used to be. But we had to work with it. You see what I'm saying? Because boy, that dialysis, I'm telling you, the doctors is wondering, you still able? I said, oh, by the hair of my chinny chin chin. You know what I'm saying? By the hair of my chinny chin chin. But yes, right?
Well, not the first time, but the second time.
Right. But even the first witness is we worked it, but I'm just saying it wasn't when I'm not on dialysis. All right. That was a season. That took a partner. That took a partner. Right? Because we wasn't having sex like we was having before. Right? And if we was having it, he wasn't as strong as he was before. It took a partner. Right? Because what if she took a different disposition? Would it leave her open to another man? Would it leave her open to feeling dissatisfied or unsatisfied or whatever? We had to walk down through that thing, man. Right? I was just happy that I could at times do it. Instead of, feeling like I'm glad I'm not like other men that can't do it at all because of dialysis.
Wait, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Real quick?
Hold on. Where's the mic?
Yeah, I wanted to say this earlier, but now that you say that and you brought up the partner, which is such a profound definition of that partner and wife, being able to compartmentalize that. So the indoctrinated world's definition of love is so basic. An intense feeling of deep affection, a great interest and pleasure in something, feel deep affection for, and like or enjoy very much. That's what you was doing. That's what we was doing. And we all been there
In the world.
in the indoctrination in the world under this definition of love. So you can see how you can operate like this in the indoctrination and come over here in the relief doctrine and get a complete understanding of what's needed for you, your wife, your children, right? Because you know what the Most High requires. It's not this. It's not this, right? And we know that. And then we go over to 1 Corinthians 13:4, and we read that full God-given definition of what love is. And we can get a complete understanding of what that is, because literally that's what we lived. And that's what we live. But it's a continuation, because when those things come, it's going to test what? Your love, right? Your love, not your dedication, and all that stuff. Because at some point your dedication could fail, because it's under this love, a great interest and pleasure in something. Because again,
Well,
if your
it's
pleasure
not your dedication is good, but
Mhm.
dedication to that.
to the
You
indoctrination.
gotta explain that.
So a great interest and pleasure in something in the indoctrination could have been sex. And then it would have been all over with, right? So when you go beyond that and your love is what the Most High says love is, I am love. And let me show you who I am. Let me show you what love is. And then you could go look in yourself first. Analyze that man, right? Because we don't never want to look at ourselves, because we're going to be, yeah, I do that. You know what I'm saying? And then we look at this definition in 1 Corinthians and we look at, man, am I that? Do I give grace? Am I kind? Am I all these things, right? When I am dealing with my significant others, with my children, with my husband, with my woman, if I'm courting with her, all that stuff that allows you to give space and create in the understanding of what love is and what it takes for somebody to be raised up in love, right? Because that's what I was. I was raised up in straight love, which gives me the opportunity to say, I know what it takes. Even sometimes, the wife be trying to interfere with the partner, right? And vice versa. And then I be messed up and I got to get myself back right. Be like, girl, poom, poom. So now that he done explained that partner thing, even because I was putting partner and wife together. But tonight I'm like, hold on, that's separate. That's why you be tripping, right? You got to make sure that those two don't conflict, because you know how to do them both. You just can't put them. You got to know when to operate, right? And now Naya gets to see that, right? And she gets to witness, and she gets to live, and she gets to grow up at a young age to get this information right there, boom. And she gets to start operating in that, because she will be that too, wife and partner.
So let me piggyback after what you said.
Mhm.
So it's like once Naya and I went to Cancun, her birthday, our little honeymoon, we had a wonderful time. It was great. I mean, great. But after that, what did I tell you?
We had a good time, but now it's back. Now it's time for us to get.
We had a good time.
We had a good time, and now it's back. It's time for us to get back to our people and our assignment.
Who was I talking to then at that point?
Your partner.
Please believe.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
So you want to finish?
No, I'm complete.
Okay, so that's what I want to give you guys. You got to know when you got to be his partner versus his wife. All praises.
'Cause that goes back to real quick, and y'all don't have to be on the mic.
Yeah, yes.
And that goes back to not only what he went through, but what I was going through, right? And so then you guys can both learn again to love each other in whatever you're going through, whatever you're facing, not allowing the enemy to come in, but knowing how to tackle it, right? Because we know his devices. And if we don't understand, if we don't learn to love and understand, be kind, be gracious, and all those things, then we won't be able to give that. But just like I gave him, he already gave me, right? So I can extend that to him with no question, no problem, no nothing, and always made him feel like the champion he is no matter what. You can't give that if you don't have love. You can't teach it, you can't give it. So vice versa.
All right. Trying to figure out where we're going to start because we're currently in a processing stage, right? And it happened yesterday, and it rolled over until into today. So, but I'm about to bring it to a head right now based on the information being given. Trying to figure out which angle to go at. So I'm going to start with some key factors in my life. Growing up, my mom left at an early age. My very first memory of her is her giving me to my great grandma and walking out the door. Never seeing her again after years. Right. And then after that, me being raised by my grandmother, she was she smoked crack and she was a prostitute. And then after that, it was my cousin, and she had this man she was dealing with. Well, this male she was dealing with, and I used to love that guy. Right? He showed me my first gun. I'm saying I didn't have any clothes or shoes, and he'll give that. I'm saying some nice things, and I loved him for it. So they went through their little motion and they separated. And I remember one time I was at her house. She was coming in. She was a prostitute as well. She was coming in the house and she had his best friend with him. So I'm sitting there looking like, "This really what you about to do?" So they go in the room and I could just hear it. I could just hear what they got going on, and I'm like, "Nah, I can't." It just did something to me. So that was the thesis and key part to my life growing up. And then, fast forward a little bit, had children, had two girls, and the instance with my baby mother and how that all went down did something to me as well. And then during that time, I started looking for my dad because I had two little girls and they're growing up, and I'm like, first thought that came to my mind was like, they're not gonna have any daughter granddad day. So I started looking for him. To the point of me looking for him, I found him, but he died 2 years prior to me finding him, and he stayed a couple blocks from where I was living at. So I'm like, that's crazy, right? So that's another staple. So little fast forward a little bit, I meet Cassie. And with those being key factors in my life and me meeting her, she had dealt with some things with me. I remember one time, probably a year in, it was a time to where we're driving in the car and our elbows touch. You remember that? Our elbows touch, and I'm like, get off me. I'm saying just that. it was real. It was real crazy. And I'm saying because now coming up in a lifestyle, listening to a bunch of fools and just taking on that mindset on how I should move, how I should think, how I should operate, and how I should be with her. Right. So that carried on 4 years, just having that mindset. And it was pretty bad. But she stuck through that thing. She allowed that space. She created that space for me to get through that and get to the end of that, actually. So I told her today, from our issues last night, I told her today, I said, the place that we're in is from my decision to get in the information, my decision to make the jump out here, my decision for where you are. And that's where my mindset prior to right now, that's where my mindset has been. It's been, what's the word for it? It's let me get it. Come on, Holy Ghost.
Focus, priority.
No. It's the boastful. It's the conceited, arrogant, inflated with pride. It's the unbecomingly. It's everything that this says love is not. I'm saying so.
Strong.
It's becoming more apparent that I don't operate in that love. I don't operate with patience and kindness. I don't operate. I don't even know what to even call it. It's just unbecoming. It's to be in this information and to process it, because while everybody was going around, I'm like, yeah, I got some good stories. I got some good testimonies. And then I'm thinking about our situation from the inside, and I'm like, I didn't slipped up, right? And I caught myself thinking, it was a class that you did a couple of days ago, to where how you started with Dove and how you're starting with Naya, and then the enemy tried to get me on how I didn't start with her like that. And that thing ate me, right? And then I remember after that class, I left the room, I went to the couch, and I was fighting at that, right? So in our relationship, I find myself fighting the key points of my life. I find myself fighting the information. I find myself fighting the future and the past. So it keeps me in a fighting state. It keeps me in a trying to keep up, trying to catch up, and trying to let go. Right? It's something that I deal with continuously, every day, all day, actually. Right? I'm trying to fight to be the better person, but I got that person of yesterday right there on my tail. I'm saying I'm trying to let that go. I'm trying to just be free of it. I'm saying, and that comes down to how I deal with you. I'm saying I'm very impatient. Very impatient, and I get rude. I get to a point to where during the conversation, if you're not catching on when I want you to catch on, I don't even bother finishing the conversation, simply because, for one, I don't want to, what's the word? I don't want to, for one, I don't want to fight that. Also, I don't want to, what's the thought? It's I don't want to allow myself to fall far enough down that where it's going to take a lot of effort getting back up. So I just cut it off there. And that's how I've been. I've been real short, been real, get straight to the point. The exact opposite of what love is. Which is unfortunate, but the information came today.
Mm.
And now I got something to strive for, live for, step up to, push forward. I got another fight. I'm saying, and I just want to say to you, I apologize.
That's beautiful. That's love, baby.
Come on.
That's love. That's love.
Come on.
All you gotta do is look it up. If you look up love, it'll show you that what happened right now was love.
Come on.
All praises for that.
So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna continue to fight. Just so I can get a little assistance from the family up here. We'll bring some up that kind of gets me every time. Every time. It's the correction and then the resistance. Right? To where I'm trying to correct you on something that Dre said on I think it was OnlyFans, where you got alarms set up around your life, and when the alarms go off, it's like, and I got the same thing. And when I see something, I'm going to say something. But then there's that resistance. And before today, I didn't have the grace, the patience, the everything else that goes under that umbrella to operate with you. But that's that one right there, that resistance that gets me every time.
So let me say this. Just like Rafi, and God showed me about Rafi, about if he see it's lived, he know it could be done. So do you think that I'm just lucking up on what I create?
No.
Did you think I didn't have any resistance?
I'm sure.
Can't nothing resist this information. See, when you say that resistance, right, that's the focal point. It's like, remember I told you guys a story about D&I years ago when he was calling me, man, this girl, this, that, and the other, and yada, 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 yada. Don't call me, boy, talking about this girl. You told her that you can accommodate whatever she brings. You got the game, you got the information to accommodate whatever she brings. And as long as she stays there with you, that's her requirement, that she stay down. If she stay down, you got to produce what you said you could produce. Right? So I'm saying that to say this. You don't think I had resistance from this one right here and this one right here? Throughout? Right? Did you think I looked at it as resistance, as if I didn't have the key to overcome? I love the resistance out of her. That was I love the resistance side of her because we know what love is, not what the world thinks. Right? That's why they can never be empowered because they think love is weak. And when I look at love, I see it as God. Right? So when I'm operating in love, I'm operating like my God, baby. You feel what I'm saying? So I would never make it a thing about her resistance because I got the capacity to overcome whatever she brings as long as she stay down. As long as she stay there. Now, if she don't stay there, that's on her. But if she stay there, what she's saying is you said you can accommodate whatever the deficiencies, the weaknesses, whatever I developed from the world, whatever I developed from whatever relationship I had before. I'm giving you myself and I'm expecting for you to be everything that you were to her. I'm expecting that from you. Okay, challenge accepted.
Hey.
Yes, sir. You feel what I'm saying? So when you stop saying her, that resistance, you making that bigger than everything, the information and everything. And when you start saying this information, like whatever anybody opposes, like God is weaker than anything that the world undeveloped. Come on, man, it's impossible. You got to know what you got. You have to know what you have. And you do, because earlier you said my decisions. And you felt it was pride and was this, that, and the other. But listen, you have to rightly divide that because it was. You wasn't lying about it. It was. Just like Keys and Rafi's and Eddie's and D. You see what I'm saying? The man stepped forward first and said, this is how you do it. Right? Because when the man stepped forward first and say, this is how you do it, there's not too much that needs to be said. Watch me. Watch me. Boy, I'm trying to tell you, this remnant information about this manhood and womanhood is just top layer. Why you think God said you the head and not the tail? Not because he just said it, it's because the stuff we're talking about today that puts us in that positioning. Right? My dad said the only way to keep from being small is to be big. What you gonna do? You gonna keep saying it's that resistance? You make her real look powerful around here.
You see how when you switched it around and you said today, not no more today, that's the attitude. And that very thing, when you show up in everything the Most High said love is, because you saying she's resisting, but so are you. Right? So if you both resisting, then you can't work like that. You are you not her partner, she not yours. She not your wife, as it, you know, because y'all both looking for something. And like we were saying earlier, fighting for position, right? And so now when you start operating like that, which she knows what it looks like too, she's in expectation for what it looks like, and so are you. But you got to operate it in order to receive it.
But you, right? And tapping into your power. What is your power? Well, love never fails. Why? Why does love never fail? Well, listen, I'm going to operate in the science and the math of all the things that the Most High said he will do with my alignment. Right? Okay, this is a situation, take care of it, because I'm going to take care of yours, Lord. So it's like her resistance or whoever's resistance, Anaya's, this, that, and the other. Listen, I'm about to wear her out with my commitment to God. You cannot beat me. I'm about to wear her out with my submission and commitment to my God. Because again, if a man's ways please the Lord, he'll even make his enemies be at peace with him. The state couldn't beat me. The system couldn't beat me. The police couldn't beat me. My wife will submit. Right? Because I'm taking care of God's business and he's going to take care of mine. That's good stuff right there.
That's good. That's good.
You can go back to 1 Corinthians, where true unconditional love, agape, overcomes, endures, and bears all obstacles, challenges, and hardships. right? And resistance,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, let her resist God, not you.
Hello.
Most definitely.
Yeah, get out the way. Let her resist God. See if she win that. I've never seen nobody win.
That's a good one.
Because love never fails.
That's good.
All right. All praise.
That's a good one. What you got?
Cassie Boo.
It's a lot.
I don't gotta say too much
That's-
because my God took care of that.
All praises. You create the space you walk into.
But to be transparent and to provide the receipts, which is the duty that we have, I laid in bed until 3:00 in the morning last night talking to my God
Mm.
in the spirit, thanking him,
Mm.
asking him for exactly what I just got.
All praise to the Most High God.
So now I could just breathe.
All praise. All praises.
And that was just confirmation after confirmation that he will provide for everything that you would ever want, need, desire, anything that you could think of. And he's given that to me. So it was I got emotional because I do love hard. And I love you. And one thing, as I was listening to everybody's testimonies, everyone who's up here tonight had an opportunity to be separated and work with their God and be in that space before they came together. You and I have been together since day one. And when we started together, we started as partners. We didn't start in a relationship. We were not in love. There was not love there. We had no idea what that even was. We started as a partnership, and we do that well. What we have continually fought with is learning how to love each other. And that was the first thing that came to mind when you said that love needs to be taught. The first thing that came to me was that you have to be in a space to want to learn. And we allowed, talk about ups and downs. We've had many, but the Most High made it that way so that we would know who we are. And I thank him for that so much. Because there was a time where we let the enemy be all in every nook and cranny of our life, in our relationship, and just watch that transpire. And we have had to fight to get that out of us and not bring that into our new life. And the way that we do that is with the relief doctrine. But we have to choose every single day to fight that, to leave it there, and not to bring it into the new.
All praises.
And that takes a choice. And I can be accountable for that I don't choose that every day. And I do allow that old person to come in, and that's wrong. And allow emotions and things to transpire within me And even though I think that I may be fighting them, there's still things that I allow to seep into my mind. And I have to be on top of it. There is no other reason, there is no other excuse to not be. So that's just me saying that once again here today, that I will not allow that to happen. I do not want any part of that into the love that we share for each other. Because the man that just spoke, that man has always been in you. I have seen that man, and that is the man that I have held on to the entire time that I've known you. And I remember saying while we were in the game that, you know what, how powerful and crazy that would be if we were to start out in the lifestyle together and end it together. That just doesn't happen.
That's right.
I've never seen it happen because there's so much that happens in between that time. And that conqueror in me was like, no, I'm gonna be the first. I'm not gonna let that, nothing, I could go through anything because I'm hanging on to that man in you. And that is just flourished and blossomed into the new man, the original man.
Come on now.
That is shining in you today. And it allows me to let that original woman shine in me.
Yes, indeed.
Because when we came here, I didn't just follow you. I came here in my own right as well. I attached myself to the culture, to my culture that we are in today. And I have given myself to that, to the Most High.
Oh, praise.
And I continue to walk in that every day. And that was important for me to be able to take on that identity for myself. Because like I've said before, and as we know, you couldn't just carry me around as some kind of baggage. It would have never lasted. I had to choose it for myself. And I did.
All praises.
So to me, we are not at the end. We are just beginning.
All praises.
All praises.
All praises. Give it a D. Bring us home, young fella.
You wanna go first?
Go for it.
Okay.
That seems to be the thing.
Ooh, ladies first. So I wrote down a few things and a lot. A lot of things.
Right.
And so first thing I got in the beginning of class is love is taught. To be taught is to learn. To learn is to listen, right? And the question was, does D teach me love? And yes, a big yes, right? He teaches me through his actions what true love is. I see him do it, and he does it for the Most High first, right? He doesn't do it for, his wives. He doesn't do it for his children, family. It's always the Most High first. He's a leader, and the way he loves through his pain is remarkable, right? Because growing up, I've never seen it. I've never seen it be done before. Just
I never seen it be done before, and just how he does it so flawlessly, like breathing. And that's an inspiration. You know, he's taught me
That's love.
Take your time.
he's taught me love because growing up, I've never had it. I didn't have a dad to teach me that. And a mom, which I had a mom, but she didn't teach me love, you know? And it wasn't until I got with D, he started showing me how that looks like. And sometimes I took it for granted. He started showing me how to love myself just a few years ago. It seems like a child. And that's where his patience, that's where his patience comes in. You know, you are patient with me, you give me grace, peace, you're thoughtful. You don't stop loving me through all my wrongs and disappointments I have caused you. And most importantly, the Most High. In the world, the way I have treated you and acted towards you, we wouldn't have lasted. You would have kicked me to the curb, right? I was out of pocket to the information and in pocket to my life, my past life. But because you have a godly love, a goodly love, I keep learning how to love still to this day. And I wrote down, like, when I was writing this down, it started forming into like a poem. And it was like just coming to me. And it starts with, your love is a continuous, unconditional, and sacrificial force that acts as an essential, eternal, and transformative commitment rather than just an emotion. Your love is characterized by kindness, forgiveness, and the selfless, considerate, compassionate, benevolent, ungrudging, and noble pursuit of the best for me, his wives, his brothers, the remnant. Like the king that you are. Your love is redemption. You have created a space that provides a path for reconciliation and offers hope, a confident, patient, and joyful expectation of future blessings, rooted in faith of the Most High, rather than wishful thinking. Te amo, mi corazón, mi rey, mi amor de mi vida.
I love you too. I love you too. In every language. So that makes me go in a different direction, right? Start in a different direction. Kavase put something in our chat last week, and it made me laugh. I called him, and he said, "D in here fighting for his life for love." And in the chat, you know, joking and stuff was going on. It was a surprise, so nobody could have known what the celebration was for, right? And I thought that some people might have caught a hint, but I found out the day before that they didn't. through Kvasia. And when he said that, right, I'm listening to everyone here, and I'm listening to my woman, and I'm glad that you see it like that, right? Because although it was funny when he said it, I'd be over here fighting hard, fighting hard for love, right, in real time, okay? Because I took a lot of notes too. Because when Manaz said that he used to be short-tempered and not giving grace, bro, if you look that up in the dictionary, you'll see this space right there. At the highest level in that area, right? But one thing I've learned over the years from my uncle and experiences and examples, that the grace I give, the love I put out, determines the grace and love that the Most High gives to me. And I want all of that. I don't want to be written off in any capacity by my God. And if he's giving it to us to know and we don't use it, you best believe that you will lose it. That's a guarantee. Use it or lose it. All right. One thing I can tell you about this level of love is humbling. It's really humbling, because it makes you step out into spaces that are somewhat scary. And it's okay, right? It's okay to be in a scared space sometimes, right? It takes courage to step out into that space. What is it? Fear is not the absence of courage. It's your ability to overcome it. Right? Or courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's your ability to overcome the fear. Right? And coming through the indoctrination that none of us knew that we were going through until we got this relief doctrine. Understanding what God's love is, understanding how to love and see yourself and the people that you profess to love in that light, with the weight of the fear of the indoctrination hovering over you, it's heavy. It's different, right? You can show up in all the other areas, but some people spend their whole life running away from love. Their entire life. But there's so many beautiful examples here of everyone running to love, right? And I love each and every one of you for that. I love you for that. Right? Looking back over some of the things that I had jotted down, right? I was thinking about my nephew and how fiery he was about wanting to break generational curses in his family, in his life, right? He wants to be the one to do that. And as I was sitting here listening to Unc talk about the example that Eddie gives, it made me think about those generational curses, right? It made me think about how hard he had to fight while in the indoctrination, right? And how much love was in there, whether he realized it or not at the time. Because it says love conquers all things, right? And the world would make you think that breaking down generational curses, especially in the Black community, is about financial gain, right? What life can you give your kids that you didn't have with things, right? With the external experiences, right? But Eddie has been a great example of breaking down generational curses in real time, right? Without financial gain. Through his submission and obedience to his God, God's love was able to have its increase in his life across the board. Like Nia said, with all of his grown kids here, with this ex here, it doesn't look like an ex anymore. And it's just a beautiful display, a beautiful sight to see, right? Because this is something that we all get to take in, right, for our own experience. This is something that all of our kids, my kids included, get to see, right? He has a third generation, right, coming into the world in this experience, in this culture, in this love, right? I had reached a point in my life, full transparency, I didn't want to have no more kids, and it's because of what I've go through with two of my kids' mom, right? I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to go through this no more. Right? Once they grown, that's it. And that changed in me a few years ago, right? Not that long ago either, just maybe like 2 years ago. Right? And I couldn't allow the circumstances of that situation to become my God and stop me from sowing more love into the world, right? Especially with people in my life that I love. Things don't always work out the way we want them to. But our strength, but God's joy is our strength and our stronghold, right? And it's his love, right? It's his love that gives us the authority to do things in our life that most people in the world don't even think are possible through love. When my nephew was over here talking, Alex, greatness, something came up, and I have to find it really quick. So not 1 Corinthians 3:6. I planted, Apollos watered, but God all the while was causing the growth.
Amen.
So neither is the one who plants nor the one who waters anything, but only Yah who causes the growth. He who plants and he who waters are one in importance and esteem, working towards the same purpose. But each will receive his own reward according to his own labor. When I read that, when Unc was talking about this, when you made your comment, it was making me think about the labor of your love, right? To what degree are you willing to love? To what level? Is there an end to your love, or is your love endless, right? It said, but each will receive his own reward according to his own labor. I want that reward, as far as love is concerned, to be endless in my life, right? The love that we have to share as men is an agape love. It's a godly love. And it's important that we stand up in that, right? To create space in the lives of our women, our wives, our children, our brothers and our sisters. I was also looking at I never pronounce it right. I don't know why. I always go here and I can never say it. Colossians. There we go. Colossians 3:19, speaking to the husbands, which, by the way, we did just celebrate me and Aubrey's marriage, right? And in doing so, we had a lot of help. I had a lot of help, right? And my partners showed up, right? My partners,
That's right.
they showed up,
That's right.
right? And they helped everything go off without a hitch.
Mm-hmm.
And I love them for that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's big.
Absolutely.
That's big.
Huge.
And it wasn't just for me, right? I enjoyed the evening. It was great. I had fun. You owe me some pictures too. I just thought about that. But it made me, as I was looking back over the pictures, I could see the smile on my wife's face
Mm.
over and over and over again. Every single picture, just walking around the house afterwards, right? I'm looking like, what you doing? Taking selfies. the whole weekend, right? Probably sitting there watching on cloud nine right now, right? Because my partners stepped up
Mm-hmm.
and helped to complete the assignment. They completed their assignment.
Mm.
And she was able to celebrate a special evening, right? For her and for I, but more so for her, right? Unc said this. I talked to Kavase, he said the same thing, and I am in complete agreement because that thing was definitely bigger for her than it was for me. Because coming from the background that we come from, coming out the lifestyle, that's just unheard of, right? It's just something that is talked down on, you know? And over here, it's elevated,
Yes, indeed.
right? Before the Most High, it's elevated, it's honorable. Marriage is honorable
Yes.
before our God. And to be able to have that in my life, to be able to have God's love and his honor in my life, and to be able to have people that know how to shift gears from being a spouse to a partner
Mm.
is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is. Thank you too, Jacques. Both of you.
All praise.
All right. Y'all definitely showed up. We got a teacher's mantle, right, that we have to put on sometimes. They put that partner's mantle on
Mm-hmm.
and put it on heavy.
Yes, indeed.
All right. I don't think I had one problem that day. When I say when I put out without a hitch, I mean that.
Now
They
that's big.
made space,
Mm-hmm.
right? They made space.
Yes.
And I know, just like myself, that my wife appreciates that too.
He said white.
I did, I said it a couple times. In that Colossians 3:19, it says, husbands, love your wives with an affectionate, sympathetic, selfless love that always seeks the best for them, and do not become embittered or resentful towards them because of the responsibilities of the marriage. If you're not careful, if you're not operating in love, I'm speaking from personal experience, right? You can become embittered, right? Because a lot of people are married. They only look at marriage to one another, but a lot of people are married to their past, right? And when you're here with this information, trying to get somebody to come in this direction, and like nephew said, you'd be like, you don't get that what? When you get the resistance instead of getting the response that you're looking for, right? You be feeling some type of way. But it says right here, do not become embittered or resentful towards them because of the responsibilities of what they have to go through, what they have to deal with, right? This is important for us as men to show up in this capacity of love right here. This is the Most High telling us how to love our wives. Anything less is unacceptable, especially here in the culture. I know that this one here next to me has been married to a lot of things from her past. We just talked about this tonight and last night, and she's fighting through that, and I'm here fighting with her, right? We both fighting for love. The only thing that would truly, there might be some small things in there that come and go, but the thing that would truly, truly disappoint me is if you stop fighting, right? Just keep fighting. The Most High has given us something in real time worth fighting for. We fought for the streets. Heck, we fought for the game. We have fought for just about everything. We didn't fought for what we felt like was respect, disrespect. We didn't fought for emotions. We didn't fought for all of that. And now it's the time to stand up and fight for love endlessly. Whatever it takes. Unc said love never fails because God never fails. He's never failed me, not once. Not one single time. Even when you feel like you're right there on the edge, he'll be right there with you, testing you to see if you're going to give up. Had you out here, Unc said, God had you out here looking crazy. Yeah, you out here looking crazy to show him that you believe in him. And Most High, I believe you for this love. I believe you for the increase. However that comes. Sometimes I just get frustrated because I'm like, man, I done planted the seed, watered the seed. What's up? But it's not on my time. It's on his time. It's just my duty to keep loving.
And leading.
And lead. Right? Beyond my pain.
Yes, indeed. Oh, praise.
Love you. Love you more.
Take us out. Take us out, young fella.
So we hear every Wednesday, right? We got what we got on the first. Oh, we got Women's Night on the first Wednesday of every month, Men's Night on the second Wednesday of every month, and Couples Night on the third Wednesday. And then, you know, that last Wednesday, just come on and get this raw, uncut. 7 o'clock Pacific time on YouTube here. We have Monday and Friday on YouTube on a paid class. Y'all be missing out. Same time, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We have Tuesdays on Instagram, 7 p.m. Pacific time, and Thursdays on OnlyFans. And no, it's not none of that OnlyFans weird stuff. This is the same thing that you've seen and getting here, right? Beautiful, beautiful information to get you to know who your culture is. Same time, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Love you all. Represent Remnant everywhere you go. And remember that love covers a multitude of sins.
Right. Amen.
Swear. What do we do with that?